Welcome back to another bedtime adventure. Tuck into bed, close your eyes, and get ready to have an amazing sleep. And to the cheeky parents, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can keep up to date with all our new bedtime stories. The Sleepy Dragon Sneezing Problem. In a cosy little valley, tucked between fluffy green hills and sparkling silver streams, there stood a warm, twisty cave covered in soft moss and glowing moonflowers. And inside that cave lived a dragon named Sparky. Now, Sparky was not the sort of dragon you'd hear about in scary old legends. He didn't stomp around villages, he didn't roar at nights, and he definitely didn't sit on giant piles of treasure, looking grumpy. No, Sparky was a sweet, goofy, sleepy little dragon with bright golden scales, a wiggly tail, and the fluffiest bedtime blanket in the whole valley. He loved cosy things. He loved warm socks. He loved marshmallow toast, and more than anything in the entire world. Sparky loved naps, big naps, little naps, after lunch naps, before lunch naps. Oops, I sat down for 1 second and accidentally slept for 2 hours. Naps. If there were a world championship for snoozing, Sparky would have won first place, then fallen asleep before collecting the trophy. And on this particular evening, Sparky was more tired than ever. He had spent the whole day helping his friends around the valley. He'd carried baskets of apples for Mrs. Bumbleberry Rabbit. He'd used his gentle dragon flame to toast marshmallows for the beavers. And he'd even helped untangle Mr. Wiggins, the goat, from a laundry line. Again, by the time the moon floated into the sky like a shiny silver balloon, Sparky could barely keep his eyes open. He waddled into his cave with the biggest yawn you ever heard. "Tonight," Sparky announced dramatically, fluffing up his pillow, "I shall enjoy the greatest sleep in dragon history." He was ready. He had his favourite striped pajamas. He had his fuzzy bedtime blanket. He had a mug of warm honey milk. He had his lucky sleepy socks, one blue and one yellow, because Sparky never could find matching pairs. He climbed into bed. He tucked himself in. He sighed the happiest sigh in the history of sighs. "Ah," he whispered, "perfect." He closed his eyes. The crickets chirped softly outside. The breeze hummed through the trees. The moonlight shimmered across the cave walls. Sparky smiled. This was going to be glorious. Then his nose twitched. Sparky froze. It twitched again. "Oh no," he whispered. His nostrils wiggled, his eyes crossed. His snout scrunched up like a wrinkly little dragon raisin. "Not now." He held his breath. He pinched his nose. He squinted at the ceiling. "Don't do it." His tail curled, his ears flapped. "Don't do it." And then, achoo! Boom! The sneeze blasted through the cave like a tiny dragon tornado. His pillow shot across the room and landed on a crystal. His blanket flew into the air and wrapped around a lantern, and his pajama pants made a loud rip. Sparky froze, very slowly. He turned his head. There, right on the back of his pajamas, was a giant rip. Sparky gasped. "My bedtime trousers!" he cried. Then his nose twitched again. "No, no, 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 no!" Achoo! This time, his mug of warm honey milk flew straight up into the air, spun around twice, and splash! It landed right on top of his head. Sparky sat there dripping in warm honey milk, with ripped pajamas, a missing pillow, and a blanket hanging off the lantern. He blinked, then he sighed. "This," he said very seriously, "is not the greatest sleep in dragon history." Just then, a tiny voice squeaked from outside the cave. Sparky, you all right in there? Or did your cave explode?" In scampered Pip the Mouse, Sparky's best little friend. Pip was tiny, quick, brave, and talked faster than a squirrel who'd had too much lemonade. Behind him waddled Tilly the turtle, slow and steady as always, wearing a tiny leaf hat. And swooping down from above came Momo the Owl, who wore round little spectacles and always acted like he was giving important advice, even when he definitely was not. The three friends stopped in the doorway. They stared at Sparky, at the honey milk dripping off his horns, at the ripped pyjama pants, at the pillow stuck on the crystal, at the blanket wrapped around the lantern. Silence. Then Pip burst out laughing so hard he rolled onto his back. "Sparky!" he squeaked. "You look like a melted pancake in pyjamas." "I am suffering," Sparky said dramatically. Tilly blinked slowly. "You do look a bit crispy." "I am not crispy," Sparky said. A drip of honey milk slid off his nose. "I am sticky!" Momo adjusted his spectacles. He said in his deepest, wisest sounding voice. "This appears to be a severe case of unexpected dragon sneezery." "That is not a real thing," said Pip. "It is now," said Momo. Sparky sniffled. "I just want to sleep," he groaned. "But every time I get comfy, I sneeze." His nose twitched again. Everyone stepped back. "Oh no!" whispered Pip. "Positions!" shouted Momo. Tilly was still turning around slowly. "Achoo!" Whoosh! The sneeze blasted through the cave. Pip flew backward into a pile of soft socks. Momo spun in the air like a feathery pinwheel. Tilly slid 3 inches across the floor. After a long pause, Tilly said calmly, that was rude." Pip popped out of the sock pile with one sock on his head. "OK," he said, "this is serious." Momo fluffed his feathers. "We must solve the mystery of the sneezes." "Yes," said Sparky. "Please solve them before I accidentally sneeze my bed into next week." So the friends got to work. First, Pip checked Sparky's pillow. "Nope," he said, "not dusty." Then Tilly checked his blanket. "Soft, cosy, smells slightly like marshmallows." "That's normal," Sparky said. Momo peered into Sparky's nose. "Aha!" he declared. Everyone leaned in. "What? What is it?" Sparky asked. Momo squinted. "A booger." Pip groaned. "That is not helpful." "I said aha, not problem solved," Momo replied. They tried everything. Pip suggested drinking warm, sleepy tea. Sparky drank 3 mugs and burped a tiny puff of cinnamon smoke, still sneezing. Tilly suggested counting sheep. But when they tried, the sheep started arguing about who was fluffier. "That one cut in line," shouted one sheep. "I did not," yelled another. "This isn't relaxing," Sparky cried. Still sneezing, Momo suggested soft music, so he sang a lullaby. Unfortunately, Momo sang like a rusty accordion being stepped on by ducks. "Twinkle, twinkle, hoo, hoo, hoo." Pip covered his ears. Tilly blinked. Sparky sneezed directly into his pillow. "Achoo!" The pillow flew out the cave and landed in a berry bush, still sneezing. Then Tilly, who had been quietly thinking this whole time, slowly raised one tiny turtle foot. "I have an idea." Everyone looked at her. "When did you start having the sneezes?" she asked Sparky. Sparky thought hard. After lunch, I think." "What did you do after lunch?" asked Pip. "I helped Mrs. Bumbleberry carry apples, toasted marshmallows, untangled Mr. Wiggins." He paused. "And then I took a shortcut through the moonlit forest." Momo's eyes widened. "The moonlit forest," he said. "Did you go near the patch of golden tickle flowers?" Sparky blinked. "The shiny yellow flowers that smell like banana pudding and sunshine?" Pip gasped. "Oh, no." Tilly nodded slowly. "That'll do it." Sparky looked confused. What? Momo floated dramatically into the air. The golden tickle flowers, he said in his grand storyteller voice, are famous for causing tickly noses, twitchy whiskers, giggly hiccups, and in dragons. He pointed a wing at Sparky. Super sneezes, Sparky gasped. So that's why I keep sneezing? Yes, said Momo, and there is only one cure. Everyone leaned in. Momo lowered his voice. The Snoozy Blue Leaf. Lightning would have flashed dramatically here, but it was a clear night, so instead a cricket chirped. Pip blinked. That was less dramatic than I hoped. The Snoozy Blue Leaf, Momo continued, only grows at the top of Pillow Puff Hill, deep in the moonlit forest. Sparky's eyes widened. That's miles away. Pip puffed out his chest. Then we go on an adventure. Tilly nodded. I brought snacks. Momo spread his wings. And I shall lead with wisdom and grace. Pip looked at him. You got stuck in a birdhouse yesterday. That was a tactical pause, Momo said. So off they went, out of the cave, through the silver grass, under the sparkling moon, across the sleepy little valley. The night was beautiful. Fireflies twinkled like tiny floating stars. The breeze smelled like mint and moss. And far ahead the moonlit forest shimmered with glowing blue mushrooms and silver leaf trees. But before they even reached the forest, Sparky's nose twitched. Oh no! Pip leapt behind a rock. Turtle down! He shouted. Tilly had only just started lowering her head. Achoo! Whoosh! The sneeze sent a swirl of leaves spinning into the sky. It also blasted Pip right into a soft bush. Only his tail stuck out. I'm okay, came his muffled voice, but I found a beetle and he is very rude. They kept going. Soon they reached a wobbly wooden bridge over a bubbling little stream. The bridge creaked. It swayed. It looked like it had been built by squirrels with absolutely no engineering qualifications. Pip ran across first. Easy. Momo fluttered over it. Easy. Sparky carefully stepped onto the bridge. Creak. The planks wobbled. The ropes bounced. Sparky gulped. I do not like this. You're fine, called Pip. You are doing great, said Tilly. Tilly, of course, was still on the first plank. Sparky took another step, then another, then his nose twitched. Everyone froze. No, whispered Pip. No, said Sparky. Hold it in, shouted Momo. I'm trying. His face scrunched, his tail curled, his wings flapped wildly. He bounced up and down. The bridge shook. Tilly looked up. If you sneeze right now, she said calmly, I will be mildly upset. Then, achoo! Whoomp! The sneeze blasted everyone off the bridge. But luckily, they all flew into a giant pile of soft moss and fluffy leaves on the other side. Pip popped up first. I meant to do that. Momo was upside down in a bush. Still graceful. Tilly slowly landed on her shell, blinked once and said, I preferred walking. Even Sparky started laughing. And once he started, everyone else laughed too. Big giggly laughs, snorty laughs, the kind of laughs that make your tummy hurt. For a moment, the sneezing didn't feel so awful anymore. Thanks for coming with me, Sparky said softly. Pip climbed onto his paw. Of course we came. Tilly smiled. That's what friends are for. Momo nodded. Also, I was curious about the leaf. They continued into the forest. Inside, everything glowed. Blue mushrooms lit the path. Tiny frogs bounced like marshmallows. Silver moths fluttered through the trees. Then suddenly, boing! A marshmallow frog landed on Pip's head. Ah! Boing! Another landed on Momo's wing. Excuse me! Boing! 3 more bounced onto Sparky's tail. The frogs were soft, squishy and ridiculously bouncy. They squeaked, They boinged. They bounced off trees, rocks and each other. Pip laughed. "This is amazing!" Then one frog bounced straight onto Sparky's nose. Everyone stared. Sparky's eyes crossed. The frog blinked. Sparky's nose twitched. The frog squeaked. "Oh, no," whispered Pip. "Achoo! Poof!" The sneeze launched the marshmallow frogs into the air like fluffy little popcorn. They bounced harmlessly into the bushes, squeaking happily. Pip was laughing so hard he couldn't stand up. Tilly shook a frog off her shell. "I liked them better before they were airborne." At last they reached Pillow Puff Hill. It rose high above the forest like a giant fluffy mound. At the very top, glowing softly in the moonlight, was a tall plant with shimmering blue leaves that sparkled like sleepy stars. "The Snoozy Blue Leaf," whispered Momo. "We made it," cheered Pip. Sparky smiled in relief. No more sneezes, no more exploding pillows, no more pajama tragedies. They climbed the hill, step by step, up, 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 until finally they stood before the plant. Its blue leaves rustled gently in the breeze. Momo cleared his throat. "Now, according to legend, the leaf must be picked very carefully." Pip reached out. Tilly leaned closer. Sparky smiled. Then his nose twitched. Everyone turned, slowly, terribly, horribly. "No," whispered Pip. "Not now," said Momo. Tilly closed her eyes. Sparky's snout scrunched. His wings flapped. His tail stiffened. His eyes watered. He wiggled. He shook. He turned a slightly alarming shade of purple. "Don't do it!" Pip squeaked. "I can't hold it!" Sparky cried. Then, "Achoo! Whoosh!" The sneeze blasted through the top of the hill, and instead of ruining everything, it shook the Snoozy Blue plant so hard that dozens of glowing blue leaves fluttered into the air like magical sleepy confetti. They drifted down all around them. One landed on Pip's head. 2 landed on Tilly's shell. 3 landed on Momo's beak. And a whole bunch landed right in Sparky's arms. Everyone stared. Then Pip shouted, "You did it!" Momo gasped. "The legendary sneeze harvest." Tilly nodded. "Efficient?" Sparky blinked. "My sneeze helped." "It helped," Pip cheered. "You sneezed like a champion." "For once," said Momo, "your nose has shown excellent timing." Sparky laughed, and for the first time all night, his nose stopped twitching. They gathered the leaves and hurried back to the cave. Inside, they made the cosiest bedtime setup ever. Tilly arranged blankets into a giant soft nest. Pip stacked fluffy pillows everywhere. Momo brewed warm Snoozy Blue tea in a tiny kettle. The cave glowed softly in the lantern light. Outside, the stars twinkled peacefully. Sparky changed into his backup pajamas. Thankfully, these ones did not rip. He sipped the warm tea. It tasted like blueberries, vanilla, and the exact feeling of being tucked in safely. Slowly. His shoulders relaxed. His wings drooped. His tail uncurling softly behind him. Pip curled up near one pillow. Tilly tucked herself beside the blanket pile. Momo perched on a cosy shelf nearby. "Thank you," Sparky whispered sleepily. "For what?" asked Pip. "For helping me," said Sparky, "even when I kept sneezing everyone into bushes." Pip grinned. "That was honestly pretty funny." Tilly smiled. "Adventures are better together." Momo nodded. "And hard nights are easier with good friends." Sparky's eyes grew heavy. His breathing slowed. The cave was warm. The blankets were soft. The tea was perfect. Everything was peaceful at last. Just before he drifted off, his nose twitched one tiny time. Everyone opened one eye. Sparky froze. "No!" whispered Pip. Sparky sniffled. Then, "Achoo! a teeny tiny sneeze, so small it barely made a sound, but it was just enough to puff a little breeze across the cave and gently blow out the lantern. The cave went softly dark. Moonlight shimmered in through the entrance, the stars twinkled outside, and all four friends burst into sleepy little giggles. Then, wrapped in blankets and moonlight and friendship, Sparky the Dragon finally had the cosiest, comfiest, most wonderful sleep in dragon history. And this time, no exploding pillows and no flying frogs, and definitely no ripped pyjama pants. Well, at least not until tomorrow, the end.